Okay guys, so I'm going to show you how to do two things. I'm going to show you how to first construct a perpendicular bisector, and then I'll show you how to do an angle bisector. So if you want to see angle bisector, go ahead and just fast forward the video a little bit. So perpendicular bisector, we're going to use the circles over here, and I'm going to go from one side of the segment to the other, and then that side of the segment to the other. So it looks a little bit like a Venn diagram is the terminology I've been doing. So let's see, I need to get the point of intersection where these two cross. So I'm going to use the intersect tool over here on the left-hand side, intersect, and you can actually click on the point. That's one way to get those to show up. Now, if you want the letters with this, go ahead and right-click on these points. So if you wanted to have the letter show up, you could right-click and hit Show Label in order to get these points to show up if they don't automatically do that for you. But now with these two black points, we're going to take the line tool, and I will go exactly from one point to the other. Make sure that your mouse, notice how it changes from the mouse to a pointer. So that makes sure that you click on the exact point that you need. So now this is done. This is a perpendicular bisector. But the next thing that I always ask you to do is to prove it. So prove that this is perpendicularly bisected. So I need to first show that this is a 90-degree angle. So with the intersect tool, I'm going to create my center vertex right here, and I'm going to show that this is 90 degrees. So I'm going to use this tab right here. This has all the calculations in it. So we're going to do the angle, and we're going to measure the angle from up top to the middle over to A. Notice how it makes the box in there. It even says 90 degrees. Now, because mine overlaps, I'm going to kind of drag it over. That way I can see it a little bit better. The next thing I need to do is prove that it's bisected so that each of those two segments are congruent. So again, I'm going to go to the measurement section and use distance or length. So I'm going to measure from A to the center, and then from the center over to B. Now those are pretty messy, they overlap. So again, I'm going to use the move tool, click on this to highlight it, and then I can kind of drag it down. Click on this one and then drag it down. That way it's a little bit easier for me to see. The thing that you should notice is that these 2 points, 2.55, 2.55, they are the same. One thing that I will ask you to do usually is pick a blue point and move it around. See what changes. Well, first of all, the degree always stays 90. And second of all, yes, these two numbers change, but they change together. So now they're both 3.38. So that's important. So that's perpendicular bisector. So circle, circle, point of intersection, line segment. Okay, so now I'm gonna back out of this and scroll down. I drew this big old angle right here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to bisect it. So all you need to bisect an angle is first you have to start with some sort of angle. So this is what I'm going to bisect. I'm going to cut it exactly in half. And we're going to do that a little bit like creating the Venn diagram above, but I've got a couple steps I need to do first. So I'm going to take a circle and I'm just going to start it right on here and just make, I say a medium-sized circle. So make a medium-sized circle. These 2 points do not matter right now. What do matter are these 2 points of intersection. So we're going to mark those by using the intersect tool. Point, point. And now you can make that line segment between those 2 points that we just created. Okay, and then this line segment right here, we are now going to create another perpendicular bisector. That's going to help us bisect this angle. So what we just did above, that's what we're going to do right here for this line segment. So I'm going to grab the circle tool, black point to black point, black point to black point. Now I have a sideways Venn diagram. It's fine that it's sideways, but I do need to use this point of intersection and this point of intersection. So to put a point on there, I'll click those in. Now let's say that these overlapped. Don't forget that you can always take your blue points and kind of move it away or move it over somewhere so it's a little bit easier to click on these black points. And now I'm going to use the line segment tool and cut it in half. You could also use, if you wanted to, the ray tool. So it's going to go from here through, or what I've been using in class, I'm going to keep using is the line tool. So there to there. So it should go exactly through that blue point. If it doesn't go through that blue point, we did something wrong. So again, I now want you to prove to me that this is bisected. So this entire angle needs to be split in half. I'm going to do that by measuring that angle. So we're going to go to the measurement tool. We're going to measure the angle. And it's kind of hard to see. I'll move it in just a minute. And now I'm going to measure the bottom angle. So with the move tool, I can click on it first to highlight it, and then I can kind of drag it over to a place where I can see, click on the other one, and then drag it over. And it might be kind of finicky, so you might have to click on it a couple times in order for that to move. But you should notice that 21.8, 21.8, those two are identical. So what that means is the entire angle is approximately about 42 point something or 43 point something if I add those two together. I can also take my blue point and I can move it around. You should notice that when these two angles move, they're still the same. The original angle is still bisected. So construct an angle bisector. We are going to start with a medium circle, get those points of intersection, make my line segment, and then make two more circles with a Venn diagram before I can cut it in half. So try that. You'll want to do this a couple times because this is 100% on your test. So try these out. Don't just do it once, do it a couple times, and then let me know if you have any questions.